the most wonderful time of the year. Spotify Wrapped.
Hi. Hey. Hello. I'd like to welcome everyone to the most wonderful time of the year, Spotify Wrapped. Today, on this beautiful, beautiful journey, I'm going to take you through my Spotify Wraps. So let's get into it. Here we go. The opening credits theme is Kiss Me in Heaven by The Convenience. And if that is not a telltale sign of my 2021, I absolutely do not know what it is. I listen to that song every day, 5 times a day. I think I was trying to make it my most listened to song of Spotify Wrapped. It's a great song. It's by this little itty bitty band called The Convenience. It just makes you feel happy and light and springy. I needed that type of song so much this year. This is in the theme of a movie. It's A-okay. Okay. Yeah, I get it, Spotify. I do see this as like a closing credits scene. The song playing as I face off against your rival dance clue is Jewels by Anderson .Paak. This is perfect. I spent 87% more hours minutes. That doesn't seem like a lot of minutes. I played it a reasonable 55 times. That's very reasonable. Actually, I think I played it a lot more than 55 times because they released it, they took it down, and then they re-released it. I also played it on YouTube a lot. What else we got? Here's my top 5 songs. We got Kiss Me in Heaven. We got Kitty Cat by Beyonce. I'm pretty sure I just listened to that song every time I was driving somewhere. We got Bunny by Boy Life. Definitely a rage and drive song for me. You put that on top volume. We also got Rock and Roll, which is another, it has like such a nice build, this really crazy riff like right towards the end. It's like such a good build to that moment and feels so final. It's a little bit teasing where that's where the song cuts off, is like right at that peak of emotion. And then number 5 is In Your Eyes, which is such a lovely one. It's by Bad Bad Not Good and Charlotte Day Wilson, who has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. It's so rich and it has such a beautiful complexity, like honeyed and molassesy. Oh, it's so good. I love her voice. Oh, here's the playlist as long as my skincare routine. I listen to a lot of Beyonce apparently. Oh, my audio aura, confident and introspective. That's extremely accurate. I listen to 102 different genres. My top genres are alternative R&B, indie pop, Christian indie, Christian hip hop, and bedroom pop. Choo choo Cinderella. The song I most binge listened to was Peas. The podcast I most binge listened to was My Favorite Murder. The artist who appeared in my most of my playlist was Zach Villery. Oh my gosh, pressure's on. I feel like Zach Villery appeared in a lot of my playlists, but I feel like there's artists who appeared in my playlist more. It's the podcast binge. That makes sense. The podcast I most binge listened to was Sweet Boys. 10 out of 10 would recommend. My top podcast though was My Favorite Murder, and I listened to 69 episodes for a total of 2,407 minutes. It says that I'm actually a pro at podcast listening, which I think is really funny. I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and they said that if I had a catchphrase, it would be, "Oh, I just listened to a podcast about that," which is one of the most accurate things I've ever heard. In my top podcast, I got My Favorite Murder. We got Sweet Boys, which I listened to a lot in the summer. It was extremely lighthearted and encouraging, and they only had 1 season. I really wish that they would bring it back because I think they look at a lot of really interesting concepts, emotional concepts mostly. Just talking about like who we are as people and like how to improve ourselves, which I think is like an ongoing conversation with our friends often. But it's nice to hear that other people are talking about it too, and just like ways to improve your emotional and mental state, ways to improve your life, and trying to constantly like grow and love other people and be kind and be good to each other. We also had Don't Ask Tig. I'm surprised that occurred in the top 3 because I pretty much just started listening to it. Tig Notaro, I watched her Amazon Prime show, One Mississippi. Hilarious. If you want something that is true to life, all of the sad, bad, terrible moments of life with the reality that all of those sad and bad things are kind of silly and kind of like stupid and dumb. Just the idea that we can laugh at those things too, even though they're bad and hard, and that will make it better if we can learn how to laugh at those things. I love the show on Mississippi, and after I watched it, I was like, how do I get as much Tig Notaro as I can into my earballs? Until I found Don't Ask Tig, which is a hilarious show where you ask Tig any question that you want, and she gives great and terrible advice. And number 4 is We Love That with Kenyon and Jerome. This podcast is so fun to me because one of these people on the podcast is not my childhood friend, but my childhood friend's older brother's childhood friend. And I was able to connect with him over Christmas and talk about how much I love his childhood friend's podcast. And I just got to talk about how much I loved it. And it's a really, Kenyon and Jerome are such a delight. The way that they speak just, it makes you feel like you're listening to 2 extremely intelligent people without feeling like a dummy. I feel like I'm learning so much, even when they're talking about like what their songs of the summer are. I feel like I'm learning so much because they have such a vast knowledge of music theory and music history, and so it's really fun to listen to, even when they talk about silly things. And number 5 is the audio Bible with My phone died right as I was about to talk about the Lord. Coincidence? I think not. In my top 5 is the audio Bible with Pastor the audio Bible with Pastor John Stanji. I like to get the Word of God into my brain the first thing in the morning before I do anything else. However, when I wake up, I have a hard time opening my eyes to read. So I have turned to the audio Bible. Cheers. I listened to 1,454 different artists, but things got pretty serious with one. Dijon. I love you, Dijon. Kiss kiss for you. I spent 466 minutes with them, and I could not get enough of rock and roll. But I found a lot to love this year. Tobe? Who's my first? Dijon. We got Tobe in number 2. We got Zach Villery in number 3. We got Anderson .Paak in number 4. And we got Propaganda in number 5. I like this lineup. It's pretty good. I like it. I listen to all those on repeat. There's my Spotify Wrapped, fellas. I hope you enjoyed this. Yay, Spotify Wrapped. Tell me what your top whatever of the year was. Tell me what you were most proud of in your Spotify Wrapped, and tell me what you think might have been a little inaccurate in your Spotify Wrapped. Kiss kiss for you. Goodbye.